Hi, welcome to GAP Geysers. In this tutorial we're going to teach you how to install a standard electric geyser. This is what it looks like when you've finished. Bear in mind that obviously all installations are different. This is what you want to do ideally. Okay, we'll cover the hot water outlet, the inlet, we'll cover how you should be mounting the geyser, because obviously that's also critical, and hopefully giving you some hints on how to get it done quickly and efficiently. Right, let's get started. Okay, first thing is to place your geyser correctly. Okay, over here you'll see that we positioned the drip tray over 3 trusses. We've also positioned the geyser itself nicely centralized inside the drip tray. This is obviously if at some stage the geyser leaks, so you need to maintain the geyser. It's able to collect all that water as it comes out of the geyser. You'll also see that we've placed the drip tray and the geyser over 3 trusses. Okay, that's to be able to carry the weight of the geyser itself. It's a pretty heavy animal. Okay, next thing to look at is we've got the outlet pipe. That outlet pipe needs to exit the building. Okay. Here is a critical thing. You'll see that we've got the foot of the geyser located over the truss itself. That way any weight is not going to be bending the drip tray, it's rather going to be transferred through to the truss, which is able to bear that weight. Okay, let's begin with the pipe work. Okay, we're going to start on the cold water side. It's normally the easiest to start off with. Let's get this a little bit closer. Okay, the first thing that you want to do is install your drain cock. Make sure that you use PTFE tape, not hemp. PTFE tape is an insulator and will prevent corrosion. From there, you want to extend a copper pipe up, and you're going to install a T-piece. Okay, this is your anti-siphon loop. Your T-piece needs to be equal to the height of your geyser. From there, it's a copper tube out, 90-degree elbow down, and a copper tube to your cold water supply. Okay, on this line you'll see we've got a PRV installed. And that PRV needs to be equal to the pressure rating of the geyser. That would be 400 kPa. And just above the PRV we've got a T-piece. This T-piece then with copper tubing would extend to the cold water supply in your house. And this will give you balanced pressure in your pipes. It's actually quite important to have balanced pressure, and obviously it's a SANS requirement as well. From here, the next thing to note is there's a copper tube attached to the PRV. Now, this copper tube needs to extend outside of the roof area. That way any excess pressure in the PRV is expelled outside of the building, obviously preventing any leaks and anything else like that. We're almost there. Okay, from the T-piece you want to extend a copper tube up a minimum of 300 millimeters and put your vacuum breaker on. Last but not least, you'll see that we've installed a galvanized end stopper in this socket over here. The reason for this is because this is obviously an electric geyser and you don't need the solder component to it. Right, this is what your system should look like once you're done. Okay, make sure that your solder fittings are correctly soldered, that you don't have excess solder or excess flux on them. Your conex connections are well secured. Make sure that you're not going to have any leaks before you carry on. Right, let's get started with the hot water outlet side of the installation. Okay, the first thing you want to do is install a male to 90-degree conex elbow on the hot water outlet. That's this item over here. From there you want to extend a copper tube out. This copper tube needs to extend past the drip tray. Okay, from there you're going to put a T-piece on, which should be this item over here. From there you're going to extend a copper tube up. This copper tube is for your vacuum breaker. Okay, once again it needs to be 300 millimeters above the T-piece or equal to the other vacuum breaker. Next, you're going to have a copper tube running down, which obviously is to go to your hot water pipe, hot water connections. Once again, you'll see we've put a galvanized end stopper in that bottom socket. The reason for this is because this is obviously an electric geyser. You don't need that socket. Next thing is to install your TP valve. Once again, use PTFE tape, not hemp. From there, you need to connect a series of pipe work. We normally recommend using 45-degree elbows, not 90-degree elbows. Actually, once again, is a SANS requirement. Okay. This pipe needs to run to the outside of the building once again. And very importantly, you'll see that this pipe runs downhill. Now, that's to allow for any water that's going to come out to naturally run out of the building. That's it. That's what your installation looks like now. This is then all of your pipe work done. All that remains now is your electrical connections. We do recommend that this part of the installation is conducted by a qualified electrician. The installation is fairly simple. This is what it's going to look like. Obviously this is a highly stylized version, but the process is very simple. First thing to do is to make sure that you have a bonding strip. That would be this part over here, connected between your hot water pipe and your cold water pipe. This makes sure that if there is any electrical short, your pipe work is grounded correctly. Next, make sure that the isolator switch on your DB board is switched off. From there, you're going to go into the roof, find your isolator switch. This isolator switch should be about within 1 meter of the geyser itself. Make sure that that's switched off as well. From there, you're going to run a minimum of 2.5mm cable from the isolator switch to your geyser. That would be this cover over here. Okay, you'll need to remove it to do the installation. Once you've finished, please make sure that you do put this back on, because obviously it protects against any dirt or moisture or anything else getting into your electrical components. Okay, the electrical connections to the geyser are actually fairly simple. First thing that you want to do is you want to remove your thermostat. It's going to be far easier to work on it with it out of the geyser. Okay. First thing is locate the neutral part or N, connect black cable or your neutral line to that. Next would be your live section, which is normally a red cable, connected to your live. Make sure that these connections are well secured. If need be, put extra pressure on that screw and make sure it's tight. The earth is then attached to a lug which is connected to the flange plate itself. That way the whole geyser is then earthed. When putting the thermostat back into the element, we recommend that you make sure that it's well located. That way you're not going to have any issues with your connections. Finally, we recommend that you use a multimeter to test for continuity. Once you've done this, switch the isolator switch on near the geyser, switch the isolator switch on at your DB board, and you're done. Thank you for watching. We hope you found this informative. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Find our contact details at www.gapgeysers.co.za. Cheers.